Noah here with American Muscle. You're looking at the C&L Oil Separator for the passenger side of a 2009 and newer 5.7 liter HEMI Charger. Now, sludge buildup in a motor is something to be taken very seriously, and an oil separator, also known as a catch can, is a great investment if you're looking to maintain the power of your ride and increase the longevity of your motor. So this oil separator is a drop-in upgrade, so you can be confident pulling the trigger as a DIYer most importantly. Now, everything you need to get this plumbed up is included with the kit, as well as a little mounting bracket here with the C&L logo on it. All the hose clamps are in the box, and the can itself is a 2.25 ounce capacity, and it has a nice drain at the bottom, so you don't need to remove the whole thing to drain the oil that accumulates. Now, this kit also reuses the factory PCV or positive crankcase ventilation fittings, so there's no modification to your motor required. I have to say the construction on this separator is very stout. It's actually made from aluminum, so it's never going to rust because of the moisture it holds inside of it. Then the fittings on the sides here are brass, so you don't need to worry about them starting to corrode either. And then to top it all off, that tasteful C&L logo is on top of the bracket, and it can be seen from the engine bay, and it really ties things together and looks pretty nice. Coming in around 120 bucks, C&L's oil separator really is the bit in the horse's mouth. Now, this little guy doesn't cost very much at all, but it really can make or break the longevity of your car's motor. Now, in terms of preventative maintenance, this is a great buy, and that lower price point makes this separator a no-brainer in my opinion. Moving on to the install, like I said earlier, everything you need is included with the kit, and the install is only going to take you about 30 minutes, making this job an easy 1 out of 3 wrenches of difficulty. Now, installing this oil separator is simple since it's all plug and play. Speaking of install, let's head over to the shop and get this on our Charger.
The tools you'll need for this project are a 1/4 inch ratchet, an 8 and a 10 millimeter socket, a 19 millimeter wrench, a sharp blade, a Phillips head screwdriver, and some thread sealant. Hi everyone, today we're installing an oil separator on our Charger, so let's get started. Before we actually get to installing this on the vehicle, there's a couple things we need to take care of first. One, we need to attach the mounting bracket to the top of the oil separator, and then we also need to insert the drain valve on the bottom of the oil separator. So let's get started with installing the mounting bracket. Now, there's 2 holes on the top of the oil separator for the mounting bracket to mount on. So we're just going to line up the holes, and it also supplies you with the screws and the washers to hold it. So we'll just use our Phillips head screwdriver. All right, and that attaches our bracket. Now we'll go ahead and install the drain valve on the bottom. And to do that, it's probably a good idea to use some sort of a thread sealant, such as Teflon tape here. And you just want to wrap this around the threads, a couple, 3 times around the threads. And we'll just insert this into the bottom. And then you can use your 19 millimeter wrench to snug it up. Now, it doesn't have to be overly tight, just tight enough to make sure that it doesn't come out. Now, to mount our mounting bracket to the inside fender here, you're going to remove this bolt that's basically right between your fuse box and your windshield washer tank. So we're going to reuse our 10 millimeter socket and remove this bolt. And we're just going to put that bolt on the inside of the mounting bracket and put it right back in. All right, now we can go ahead and remove our engine cover so that it exposes our breather line here that we need to remove so that we can install the new lines for the oil separator. So we're just going to pull these off. And the kit does come with one piece of hose that you can connect your oil separator to your breather lines. Now, if you're going to be replacing your engine cover back on the engine, you want to make sure that you leave enough hose to route it around so that the engine cover will still work. So what we're going to do is we're just going to basically put this in place of where it would go, and then route our hose down low enough that it will give the engine cover room to be able to be put back on. So we're going to figure about that long. Now we'll use our utility knife to go ahead and cut our hose at that point. Now this front connector on the intake manifold here is going to go to the top port on our oil separator. The bottom port is going to go to this back port on the intake manifold itself. So we'll do the same thing for this. Make sure that we route this around, give it plenty of room, and then we'll cut the hose right there. Now, using the supplied clamps that come with the kit, we'll go ahead and attach our hoses. Put a clamp on the other end. Now we'll put our front hose on. Don't forget your clamp. All right, now we can use our Phillips head screwdriver to go ahead and tighten these clamps down. Once you got that one tightened down, then you go to the one in the back. Now we'll tighten down the two clamps on the oil separator ports themselves. And now we can go ahead and reinstall our engine cover. And we'll go ahead and set our engine cover back in place. Make sure it fits over the studs. And our installation is complete. And that wraps up our review and install of the C&L Oil Separator for the passenger side for your 09 to 23 5.7 liter Hemi Charger. Thanks for watching, and remember, for all things Charger, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.